be admiring, sexually admiring a 5-year-old.
Your wife that what?
She's not. Please stop that play. And I feel like this happened to me because as a child. Okay, I'm saying this with. Okay, as a child, I grew up with the idea that I was very good looking. Like I remember people always calling me fine boy, fine boy, fine boy. You know all those kind of things. You have very attractive children, and then those uncles would like to buy. Those uncles would like to buy you biscuits. They would like to buy you sweets. They would like to buy you all sorts of things, and and then parents get carried away by the compliments, and then they leave their children. And then the uncle is carrying your daughter. You don't know he's putting his finger in a private part, and he keeps doing that to her all the time. I mean, I remember something that happened to my cousin as a child. All the times his mom was not around, and he had to stay with the neighbor. I'm forced to say this. Auntie Obi was practicing stuff with this guy. And whenever a neighbor came into the room, he would go to their back, ladies, and be doing stuff like this behind their back. Like this is what he was doing behind. So the mother noticed, and she was like, "Why
did you get that?
What are you doing?" And we knew that Auntie Obi had been doing this thing to my cousin. And I was even still a child at that time. But by this time, I could not even still tell them that I had been doing things. No, things had been done to me. It's just very, very sad.
Yeah, it's sad.
How come we didn't talk about poverty? Intimidation. Did we talk about intimidation?
Intimidation.
Please talk about intimidation.
It's very close.
Intimidation. Now, I would like you to look at the family of the victim and the person that is doing it to them. That sort of intimidation. Something like maybe when they are thinking these people are too big.
Sometimes they are even at the same level. They are probably both poor, both rich or something. But sometimes it's not. The intimidation mostly is usually between the child fearing that person.
I've heard stories of people that maybe now this rich guy and then their daughter is like working there with the mom or something as an house help, and then this rich guy will be taking advantage of this small girl, and because they feel like they are wealthy, they are able to to do anything, they feel like their voices cannot be heard. It is a lie. If somebody has sexually violated your child, please lodge claims, DM me at Lord Frederick, tag me. I can promise you that I will take you to people that will get you help. That is something that people need to hear.
Yeah. And very important, we've been talking about this. Parents need to start educating their children as early as possible.
Yeah.
The reason why these things happen and these children are vulnerable to all these things because they lack that knowledge.
True.
When you tell your child about these things, when you teach them about these things at a very tender age, they'll be able to note when these things are about to happen. And they can be able to take action. But what of a situation where the child is not aware and the perpetrator takes advantage of the child, and at the same time intimidating the child? It happens. So they'll tell you, if you tell your parents, I will deal with you. Or even to the point, I heard a shocking story that the perpetrator was even threatening to blackmail. He was saying, if you no, it was like, what happened, and if you want to go and tell, I will first of all go and tell your parents. And because the parents are more of tyrants, so the child now, if this thing gets to the parents, she's in a very serious soup. So the man now capitalized on that. Whereas we know obviously it is not true. If the parents get to know, it's a serious issue. But because he is aware that this child is ignorant and she's vulnerable,
exactly. Just look at
I
that.
feel like yeah,
So I
what
wanted
you're
to say
saying.
something like what he said about teaching your children these things on time. I remember even when I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but even at our own time, our parents would not say sex education is not a thing here in Nigeria that people take seriously. To even say my dad is giving me the talk at the age of 18 or no, at the age of 16 to 18 is a big deal. And parents will actually start to mumble when they want to talk because they feel awkward. My mom is very rough. I've said this many times. My mom will tell you as it is. You'll be the one begging her to stop. So she's going to tell you that Nai is so, and she's not speaking English. The way she wants you to understand is in pidgin English.
Exactly.
So no make sure say make this, make that. And it's so funny because those things are things you take for granted. But when time
It
comes,
take you a lifetime.
yeah, so when that time comes, it's always easier for you to say, oh, this is what warned me about. So yes, I know that parents are actually really now taking this seriously with the influx of new cases every day. People are taking this thing seriously, but I feel like don't start to tell me about sex education. Don't even talk about sex education when I'm 15, 16, 17. Start from when I'm still much little, because chances are, even if we don't say talk about, we don't say talk about the genital, parts of a human. You can say something like, don't let this brother call any brother that puts you on their lap. Don't allow anybody to do this to you. The things that you know your child can assimilate and not get scarred hearing. You can start by telling them. So as they progress, just like you see in primary schools, where in the nursery school they teach you a certain type of way, you advance to primary school to primary school, and there's a different level because they understand that your ability to grasp has advanced. So that's really what we should look at. Stop teaching me at the age of
Exactly. So
15.
now I think there should be more parental education on this. Because some parents don't even know how to go about it. So even recently, like somebody told me a particular child started a menstruation and she said she doesn't even know what to tell the child. They come and help me tell this child something, and I'm like, okay. So this one knows I should talk to this child about this, but doesn't know how to go about it. So that's why I think it is okay that they should educate parents on how to go about it. Your 4-year-old, already tell your 4-year-old boy or girl that don't sit on people's style. The table is more comfortable, or the chair is more comfortable.
Exactly. Why? Your chair is not the throne.
Because
It's not the throne of it's not the presidential seat. Why on earth would you want a child to sit on your lap?
So
on your chair, rather.
some persons may be harmless about it. But if a child gets used to seeing people and just sitting on their back, the child will eventually sit on the wrong side. So
Seriously, even on the wrong time, very good. Even that thing they call lapping, it has to go. When you be carrying like 3 children, I'm telling you, be taking 3 children, and they are not even siblings, though. You know that you cannot afford to take these 3 children on that outing. You know that you cannot afford a car. You will now enter a public vehicle. You can't be telling that uncle to carry your daughter on his leg. Someone you don't know, a stranger. Someone was sharing her experience with me. She said she was on these big buses. They call them Molestation in Lagos. That the guy that was standing behind her, that they beat him that day. Why? Because it was wet. It was drenched. It was like Henry Jesha. Like by the time she turned back, she didn't even understand. It was the people on the bus that were like, you just had to disgrace yourself. Like, oh, what is wrong with you? And I feel like parents should not mince their words. See, call it what it is. You can censor the English. Call it what it is, not kokoro. Call it what it is. I heard this very funny thing about how a parent was telling her daughter that she should stop climbing the tree because whenever she climbs the tree, the boys beneath are always looking at her pants or looking at her panties. And then this girl, next time she wanted to climb the tree, she removed her pants. Please don't do that. Tell the child that you're a girl, and because of this, you're very different and special. Nobody should see your body. I mean, nobody that is not your husband should see your body. And because you're very young, you're not married yet. So all these boys, none of them is your husband. So that is why you should not climb the tree, because when you do, they see your body. Your body is precious. Have I not passed the message? I have passed the
But it's
message.
not body they'll see.
It's not, you understand, but the whole idea is that our body is precious. She should be, taught
So
to
you
know
have a
that.
sense of
Exactly.
covering.
When a man touches you, you get pregnant.
That one is another.
That's so
Oh God.
it kind of blocks the actual truth because if I accidentally touch a guy and I'm scared I'm pregnant but I don't get pregnant, it means mama lied.
Yes, mama lied.
And then it means that whatever mommy is saying at that point or daddy is saying at that point
Concerning that
just lying. And then
Even
it
many
can
other
make
things they said
people
to you, you may want to disregard them.
yes,
because you
so
feel
it makes you see those things as not valid and then you start to act out too. So it's funny how even the little things can have such a monumental effect on every child. But I would like to just emphasize more on the psychological aspect of it. I've heard people say they've been molested and because of that, now this is not me saying that anybody who has come out to say they are gay is must have been molested, yeah. But I'm saying that I've heard people say things like, oh, I was molested, and the moment I was molested, it made me hate men. And that is why I'd rather be with women. This is not news, like people say this on a steady. There are women or there are ladies who will tell you who currently what they call them loose women, yeah? Because they say they are free givers. Or you call them prostitutes, I don't know. But these people are people who, some people will tell you that one of the reasons why they don't see it as a big deal is because they started at a very young age. And there are people who are generally asexual because they are not attracted to anybody. They've been scarred generally because of the experiences they've had. And I'm not saying that this is only something that happens with the female gender, because even guys suffer daily from molestation. So yeah, I think we should really put more interest and we should even focus more on what now can be done. What can we do to change this?
Yeah, I think to summarize what Choma is saying that, see, if you have been molested, yes, you may not treat it. I mean, for my own, it was difficult. It is difficult. I don't even know why I am able to talk about this. I've never told any of my family members about it because I don't know how to tell them. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think what Choma is trying to say is that some of these things that happen to a person, they go to what is called your repressed emotions. So it's not like they are not there. They are there. They are just lying. They are lying. You understand? They are just waiting. You understand? Waiting to, burst out, to be triggered. So when all these things happen to a person, they have a way of shaping who a person becomes in the future. Yes, so when they happen, you'll just be surprised that tomorrow, Bankole decides that he doesn't want to be this way, he wants to be this way as regards sexual orientation, and you don't know why. You don't know what has happened to Bankole. You don't know what Bankole had to do from age 3. You understand? And then over the years, we have seen that victims grow affection or a sort of connection with their violators. You understand? After a while, because it now becomes normal, it's like they are nurturing them. You understand? They are nurturing, all these people. You understand? And at the end of the day, they just grow an affection for them, and they think it's okay to be abused. I don't know if anybody has something else.
Yeah, there is an experience a friend shared with me. A guy who was molested also by a neighbor, one auntie in the compound, molested. So he said, as a result of that act, he hated women. As a result of that act, he sees women to be his enemies.
Conniving.
Exactly. So, but at some point, when he started hurting him, he decided to take revenge on women. So you can see the effect these things can have on a person. So it was like at a point in his life when this thing started eating deep, it was just affecting everything he was doing. He was like, okay, at this point I had to take my revenge. So you see him looking for young girls to pray upon. So these things happens. It happens. Even in boarding schools, let's talk about it now. as a person, I used to tell my friends, I cannot send my child
Not in this world.
I mean, we went to day school, and then we went to day school. But what happened?
You know, I seriously trying
you
every
see,
day. Please imagine that you're not far away from home.
hey, do you see it?
No, I've had experiences, some that went to all female schools.
In fact, there's an all-female school where they don't allow them sell gala. I refuse not to mention. They don't sell gala in that school. I think we all know this school. Okay.
I don't think you should mention this school.
I'm not mentioning it. Before I get a lawsuit.
So just imagine the effect this thing have on people. I was discussing with a very young girl. We went for one outreach like that in a community school. So after our event, so we asked them if you have any need for counseling, all of that, you can come and meet us. So she came. She was just telling us, in their school that there is a set of seniors, all female. She attended an all female schools, that there are some set of females, seniors in the school, that what they do is introduce young girls into their group. So if they come after you and you don't accept, they will force you. And there is nothing this problem.
Do you remember, sorry to cut you short, do you remember when we were in school? Do you remember that teacher that used to do like this to girls and draw the hands of their bra? Do you remember we were in JSS class?
Yeah, in
JSS class. You remember that man, the light-skinned one? That one.
I know him.
You know him very well. Almost, we had gist, and those gists were true on
And
how
they
he
were true.
finished
Because-
a lot of our girls.
Yeah.
We were in secondary school, in our faces. He used to do like, he would tap it and draw
And
the hand of your bra.
there's no way you
That is how he
can
does. I'm serious. And nobody is
It's not
saying
that to know
anything.
who is wearing bra and
Yes, who is
because
busty
the
and
uniform-
everything.
the uniform may not be-
By the size of the hand of the bra, we shall know them. This is what he does to girls. Can you imagine?
And then the back, draws the
Yes,
back.
it's,
Like he's going to beat you at the back and then pulls the bra.
thank God there is receipt. At least you know the person, Abi.
So now imagine where
Sorry,
and you know these people in boarding house is not they are children too. It means they've been molested, just like Chema said, or was it you that said it, that the child gets molested and looks for another person to transfer it to. So it's just what has happened to those girls. They've been exposed to something they shouldn't be exposed to as a child, and then they're looking for other people to practice what they've been taught or what they've been done to.
Okay, so I think I remember saying something about how a lady found out that her husband was molesting her child. Bearing in mind that this is his stepdaughter. Now, I want to say something as to what can actually solve this. There's something I found out that Lagos State government is doing. I hope they still do that, because at the time this was happening, it was in motion. It was even the Lagos State. I don't know the name exactly, but it was like almost like a task force that was set up to help find children who are facing all of these types of things, all forms of molestation from home, trying to, I don't know what must have led to it, but it's such a great initiative. And then it was people coming to the school to teach sex education and why kids need to be careful. This is something that happens in public schools, and that was how they were able to find out, because somebody was smart and was sensitive enough to meet this young girl, and she didn't just rest because she said, oh, everything was fine. She kept quizzing her, telling her she was safe to say whatever it is she wanted to say, and I'm telling you, till now the guy is in prison.
Wow.
I'm not joking about it. The guy is in prison. So I appreciate the Lagos State government for that. But however, I wish they can extend it to not just public schools but private schools.
Yeah.
Because yes, it is nice. I don't know, maybe it's a thing of jurisdiction here, but if they can extend it to private schools, if we can make this a federal thing and it is not just restricted to public schools in the federation, but public and private schools, we can start to catch these people in places where they need us. And if they had told this man that he would be in prison by this time, I'm sure he would not have been. Like I said, this man is somebody who is seen as a very religious person. So that is something I appreciate the Lagos State government for, and I feel like other states should actually embrace. Take these things seriously. We can't. There's only so much parents can do.
Yeah.
There's only so much. There are parents who are trying as much as possible to get to their kids. Maybe they've made mistakes and they are trying as much as possible to get to their kids, and it's still a problem.
And then, sorry, if they know that people get real punishment, it will serve as a deterrent, which is the point you're trying to make. So it's not enough for the truth to come out. Make a scapegoat, make scapegoats, punish people, let us see. You know, the problem I have with our country is that it's like it's all talk, no enforcement. Let someone be punished. Let us be able to say this person served 2 years or 1 year or 13 years for doing
But
this.
sometimes now the justice is in place. However, the family don't want to follow through. Like she said now, the man is in jail, right? So assuming the woman is trying to withhold that thing and is not going to. So I think parents should, even if family members, if a parent is trying to hold the thing, cover it up, somebody should speak up for the child. Because this thing is the child's life. Somebody should speak up. So I think that we shouldn't be saying we are not, she's not my child whatsoever. If you see somebody in your environment that is going through, that is being abused in any way, I think you should stand up for that person. So
We need to be our brothers. And that's something I appreciate so much about Iyabojo. What she's doing. I don't care. Some persons might think that she's trying to get me. What attention does she need? Iyabojo is already a star. She can't be a bigger star than she is. She's already a star. What we want for her is for her to collect Oscars.
But this is
You
somebody
understand?
that has been molested, so she knows
Exactly.
the psychological effect. So if all of us should know, we should try and take it upon ourselves that be a voice for a child.
Be a voice for a child. That's the new motto. Be a voice for a child. A child is a child. Your child is a child. I'm telling you. Do you understand? A child is a child. Your child is your child. Your child is your child.
Don't see. We trust too much. Have trust issues. It is okay.
Have trust issues with your children.
If I don't even want to say don't trust the child with the father or the mother. If you are the father, don't trust your male child with the mother. If you are a mother, don't trust your female child with the father.
Just need
But
to.
that would sound funny. But the truth is, you have to be careful, be sensitive enough to know that something is wrong. Know your child very well, and know when there's a little change, maybe in attitude whatsoever. If you know your child very well, you know when the child is pissed for something, you know when the child is scared, you know when the child has something to say but doesn't know how to say it.
Check out for
And
injuries.
somebody was saying that a particular person said a child was molested and the parents didn't know. That wasn't the parent batting that child, and I'm like, okay. The person was telling me that the vagina of a girl child would be a way, but the parents should have noticed when having. So you should know your child, know their physical body, pay attention to their emotions,
Personally,
and
to the
give them
mothers,
room
please.
to talk. Please listen to them. Listen to the rubbish they have to say.
Imagine if they didn't believe that what that girl talked about that happened to her 7 years ago.
You have said I 7 years.
I mean, I
What do you
remember
mean
all
by
these
that?
things that happened to me from 3 to age 6. Now imagine if they had disregarded that girl and said, come on, shut up your mouth. What are you saying? When you saw?
7-year-old.
Can you imagine? How can you do something?
Imagine somebody remembering something that happened as 4-year-old. So
Yeah.
you may think these children, you think will keep haunting them. So that's why you have to speak up for these children. Listen to your children.
Yeah.
Don't say
Does anybody else have something else to say besides molestation?
What I would want to say is just voice out. That's what I would want to
So
say.
the victim, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually said that a problem shared is a problem solved.
Yeah.
So the first step to actually deal with this issue is you being able to accept that you've passed through this. Because the truth is, many people are not coming to terms that this thing is affecting them. That's the truth. That's the truth. They are passing through some strange things. There is a change in their behavior. There is a change in their preferences. Their ideology has been affected, but they don't want to, admit that
This
what
was the
happened
problem.
Yes.
was the root cause of what I am seeing now. They don't want to admit it. So we need to share this message so that these victims will be able to trace back and then draw a straight line between what happened then and then the changes they are experiencing now, and also be able to voice out. Because definitely once you're able to say something, somebody somewhere will listen to you.
True.
Somebody will take it up.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So
Somebody somewhere will listen to you. Sorry to cut you. That's another
you
highlight.
just need to pass these messages across, and then the campaign towards schools, it needs to be intensified. You mentioned something about training the parents.
The
Some
parents also need
educated.
education, how to say something.
Especially in the rural communities, they need this education.
Yes.
The rural communities,
Because
that's
as
where
much
most of
as
these are.
sorry to cut, as much as people are in the know of these things these days, but those rural communities, most of them still don't know. Like a huge number of people.
Even when they know, they don't know how to say it, like you said.
So education,
So it's
rural
very
penetration.
important. It's really very important that we do all these things. And
Yeah.
I would really appreciate I really want to appreciate for what you are doing. Providing a safe space for
I'm
Yeah.
glad here.
to share what they are passing
Yeah.
through. If something like this can be done in a broader scale, where people can come to share what they are passing through. I was reading a book where people with several addictions, it's more like a group. I was reading a safe space where the man's aim was just to gather these people with different sorts of addiction, bring them together so that each and every one of them can listen to each other,
And
so
learn
that
from each other's
they will
experiences.
know they are not the only ones passing through such experiences. So by listening to somebody sharing his or her own experience,
It's a relief.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if such kind of groups can be set up where somebody will can come and share this thing and I will not be judged for it.
Yeah. And that's what Safe Space with Frederick is all about. It's an opportunity for you to be able to express yourself, to say those things that you want to say. I know that I am one voice, but imagine if other persons, you understand, are listening to, what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
So this is, a way of telling you that this is a safe space for you. I want to listen to you. I am listening to you, and we are listening to you. Francis is listening. Shoma is listening. Precious is listening. Iana is listening, and people that they know will listen and are listening to you. So do not hesitate to, to come to my DM, to speak to me, to tell me things that are bothering you. We can find that solution together. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, do have a great time. Don't forget to tell your friends about this channel. Like,
Share, subscribe.
repost.
Share.
Sharing.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.